Hello and welcome to a special presentation of the Eruption of Death, a close-up look at Mount Vesuvius in Pompeii, Italy. We've invited the world's most smartest volcanologist, Jim Bob. Jim Bob, welcome to the show.
Why, thank you, Newscaster Ned. It's a pleasure to be here.
Why don't we start by telling our viewers some basic facts about volcanoes?
Well, most volcanoes erupt because deep in the earth, pressure starts building up. When the pressure gets too high, magma rises. Magma is created by rocks that were melted by the intense heat in the earth. This magma rises and collects in magma chambers. After a while, the magma pushes through vents and cracks in the earth's surface. Then a volcano erupts and the magma comes out and is called lava now. This lava flows out and destroys everything in its path. Then poisonous gases come out, and if people breathe these gases, you can get very sick or die. Ash can fill the air with a choking cloud.
Wow, what effect does this have on people?
Well, when Mount Pinatubo erupted, many people ended up developing pneumonia from inhaling the ash. The ash destroyed all their crops. In other volcanoes, people have been buried alive under the ash.
Wow, Jim Bob, are we at risk here?
No, there are no volcanoes here in New Hampshire, but there are volcanoes in other parts of the country, especially in Hawaii and Alaska.
What can people do to prepare if we were visiting a place where there is a volcano?
Well, I'd advise people to check with the local police department. Volcanologists measure the ground temperature around the volcano, and they check for earthquake activity with special equipment called seismometers.
Earthquake activity? I thought we were talking about volcanoes.
Yes, normally earthquake activity increases before a volcano explodes. That's why volcanologists measure earthquake activity with seismometers.
What do people do if there is a threat of a volcano eruption?
People should have already planned an escape route.
Hurry! Everyone get in the boat!
They should also close all their windows to help stop most of the poisonous gases and ash from getting in. Then they should evacuate as soon as possible.
What type of a disaster is a volcano?
It's a natural disaster. Nothing humans do can start or stop this disaster. What people might not know is that there are different types of volcanoes. Cinder cone volcanoes are straight-sided and have cone-shaped craters created by rock fragments from many eruptions. A shield volcano is the kind you see in Hawaii. Lava comes out in a fountain, runs along the ground, and forms a gentle sloping mountain. A subducted volcano forms underwater, and they usually form islands. Composite volcanoes are also known as stratovolcanoes. The stratovolcano has lava that is thick and sticky and hardens quickly, producing a steep, symmetrical mountain. Those volcanoes go up to 8,000 feet high and can be cone or dome-shaped. One famous stratovolcano is Mount Vesuvius.
Jim Bob, where exactly is Mount Vesuvius?
Mount Vesuvius is located in a city called Pompeii in Italy. It was a hot summer day. Some people were in the market. Some were at home. No one knew that an eruption of death was just about to happen. All of a sudden the ground was shaking. The houses were shaking. The Mount Vesuvius's top had just blown off. The giant mountain had just woken up. Everyone looked up to see a big black cloud filled with ash. That's when the gases started erupting from Mount Vesuvius. The huge cloud was getting bigger and bigger until it blocked the sun. It became dark in the middle of the day. Then hot pebbles fell onto the houses of the people of Pompeii. Some found pillows to cover their heads, and some people ran into the ocean. The not-so-bright ones went to guard their riches instead. Some people got handkerchiefs to protect themselves from the poisonous gases in the ash. The air smelled horrible, like rotten eggs. People got trapped under the pebbles, and the ash fell on top of them. Then came the flying rocks, which ended up killing thousands of people. Their hair was sizzled because the ashes were so hot. People tried to hide, but they got buried alive because the ashes piled up higher and higher around them. Under the ashes they could not move, and they could not breathe. Ashes piled up to the second stories of homes. But Vesuvius was not done. Even bigger clouds of poisonous gas came next. Then came the lava. It splashed right over the city's walls, and no one that was still in Pompeii or the nearby city of Herculaneum lived. Huge waves made their escape difficult, and they were so big that it even made some fish fly onto the beach to flop in the sand.
So, what caused this eruption of death?
It all started because of a series of earthquakes. There had been an early eruption in 663 AD. Then rising lava got hardened in the vent of the volcano, which caused pressure to build up. Then finally, 16 years later, the most famous eruption started.
What was the effect of the volcano on animals and the environment?
Farms, trees, and grass were destroyed. Thousands of people died. No land animals survived. Over the years, Vesuvius erupted more times and covered the town even more, so you couldn't tell there had been a town there. People actually built a new town on top of it, the buried one. One day, workers were digging and found pieces of an old wall. It was Pompeii.
Did they find anything else?
All sorts of stuff. They found bodies left in the exact position they died in. They even found unbroken eggs. There was a dog on a chain, all curled up.
What did people do to help?
People didn't have the technology we have today, so there was nothing they could do. Today we have special equipment that would have predicted the eruption so they could have evacuated.
Are humans to blame for this disaster?
No, because volcanoes erupt when pressure builds up too high, and humans can do nothing to prevent it.
What did people learn as a result of this disaster?
People started checking the volcano more often so they could get out of danger before it erupts.
We're just about out of time, Jim Bob, but I'm curious. How many times has this mountain erupted?
I know that it's erupted more than 50 times since this terrible disaster in 79 AD. The most recent time was in 1944.
Well, Jim Bob, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
I sure hope that I've helped you to understand a little more about volcanoes.
You sure have.
I don't know